Good morning, everybody. It's Friday morning, and it's my turn to give the devotion. So I would like to start in Matthew chapter number 25. This is a very well-known passage of scriptures. It is the parable of the 10 virgins, and we'll start in verse number 1. And it says, "Then shall the kingdom of heaven be likened unto 10 virgins, which took their lamps and went forth to meet the bridegroom. And 5 of them were wise, and 5 were foolish. They that were foolish took their lamps and took no oil with them. But the wise took oil in their vessels with their lamps. While the bridegroom tarried, they all slumbered and slept. And at midnight there was a cry made, Behold, the bridegroom cometh, go ye out to meet him. Then all those virgins arose and trimmed their lamps. And the foolish said unto the wise, Give us of your oil, for our lamps are gone out. But the wise answered, saying, Not so, lest there not be enough for us and you. But go ye rather to them that sell and buy for yourselves. And while they went to buy, the bridegroom came, and they that were ready went in with him to the marriage, and the door was shut. Afterward came also the other virgins, saying, Lord, Lord, open to us. But he answered and said, Verily I say unto you, I know you not. Watch therefore, for ye know neither the day nor the hour wherein the Son of Man cometh." So, I would like to draw our attention to this story because when it came time for them to go meet the bridegroom, when it came time for them to stand up and go forward to the marriage, some of them did have enough oil, but some of them did not have enough oil to get in. So they had to go and get more oil from the city, and when they came back, the door was shut and they weren't able to get in. And I don't want to be in that position. I want to be prayed up and I want to be ready to go. Another story I would like to draw our attention to is the story of Daniel in the lion's den. I'm just going to read one scripture here, and it's Daniel chapter number 6, verse number 10. And it says, "Now when Daniel knew that the writing was signed, he went into his house, and his windows being opened in his chamber toward Jerusalem, he kneeled upon his knees 3 times a day and prayed, and gave thanks before his God as he did aforetime." So this is another story that is very well known. Everybody should know this story. But there was these men that were trying to get rid of Daniel. And the only way that they could think of to get rid of Daniel is to come up with this decree that nobody was able to pray to anybody except for the king for 30 days. And then it comes into right where we read, and as soon as Daniel knew that had been signed, he went back to his house and he kneeled on his knees and he prayed. And this isn't something that Daniel started that day. They did this because they knew Daniel was going to pray. They knew that he prayed every single day, and they knew him and his faith, that he was not going to stop just because somebody said to stop. And this also isn't something that Daniel did out of just rebellious acting against them because he didn't like them and he knew what they were trying to do, and he just wanted to go against that because he knew the consequences. But this is something that he did just because he had always done it before and he was always going to do it. And one of these days they're going to try and shut the church down, and we won't be able to have normal church or even church like we're doing right now where it's all on social media platforms because none of us can get together. But there's going to be a day where we can't do any of that, and they're going to shut us all down. And then what are we going to do? Are we going to just cave in and follow that? No, I don't think that we're going to do that. We're going to just do what we've done aforetime. We're going to do what we have a pattern of doing in our life. If we have a pattern of good works and a pattern of going to church and a pattern of praying and fasting, we're going to be able to carry on with all of those things. But it's not something that we can start like the 5 foolish virgins. We can't start it when it's time to start. When the bridegroom called, they knew that their oil was short, and so they had to hurry up and go get some. Another example that we have in Matthew chapter number 17, verse 21, it says that this kind goeth not out but by prayer and fasting. So this is a story of the disciples. A man had brought them his son that was a lunatic and was asking them to heal him. And they tried, they prayed for him, but they couldn't heal him. So he brought him to Jesus, and Jesus was able to heal him. And the disciples came up to him and asked him, they said, "Why couldn't we heal him?" And he said, "This kind goeth not out but by prayer and by fasting." They no doubt had been praying, they no doubt had been maybe fasting, but not to the level that they needed to be. They came across something that was just a little bit deeper than that they were, and they couldn't cast it out. They didn't have time to go pray and go fast and then come back a week later and heal the son. He needed his healing right then and right there. That's when the Father was asking for the healing, and they weren't able to step up and to do it. But you don't ever see them having this problem again, because I'm sure that they learned their lesson right there, that they need the prayer and the fasting. If it's, and then we can apply it to our life, is when God comes back for one of us or for all of us, we have to be ready to go. We can't wish we prayed a little bit more. We can't wish we fasted a little bit more. And even if it's not just for God coming back, I don't ever want to find myself in a situation where I wished I would have prayed just a little bit more, or wish I would have fasted a little bit more. But we need to pray and fast today for when we need it in the future. Because when we need it, it's too late to start it. If we already have a pattern of prayer and fasting in our lives, man, that's great. Let's keep it up and let's keep it going. We can't slow down. We can't stop. And if we've fallen off the bandwagon, let's pick it back up and let's keep going. And even if you haven't started, today is a great day to start. We can start praying now. We can start fasting now, because we will need that in the future. We will need that for whatever the situation, whether God comes back for us, we're going to have to be prayed up. Whether somebody is needing something right then, we're going to have to be prayed up and be able to pray for them right there. And so I just want to encourage us to keep praying and to keep fasting like we know that we should, and we know that we need to do in our lives. And hopefully that helps somebody out there today. And God bless, and have a great Friday.